Well, good morning. This is part 4, and I'm really hoping I can get this all into one and bring me up to date to where I am right now, and then I can give you updates as I go along. And I'd like to thank everybody that's left comments and people that have subscribed and all the views I've been getting. It gives me encouragement to keep going. That maybe somebody, even one person, finds this helpful. That was worth doing. I'd like to thank the person for the comment and the fenbenzidol. I'm going to put some look into that. I mean, I look everything up. I research everything, whether it's helpful or not. And the lycopene, the fellow with the comment on the lycopene, which I forgot to mention. Yes, I do. And I use cooked tomatoes. And we got to be careful with some foods. You got to watch them for oxalates. They will cause stones. You can take rhubarb and stuff like that to combat. It's rhubarb, right, dear, for oxalates?
Rhubarb gives you oxalates.
Oh, does it? Oh, don't use that. Can't remember what it is.
It's Chancepedra for stones.
Oh, Chancepedra and Ursi is for your urinary tract. It's like cranberry juice without the sugar. And
that first thing was wormwood. It was an antihelmintic.
oh yes, the for benzidol, I think it's a helmintic, something like a wormwood, like ivermectin. I have to read more on it before I give any comments on that. Or let me see, you look it up yourself. That's one thing about the comments. It's not just for me. It's for anybody else that's looking at this page. It might be information that gives them options. And it reminded me of something. I mean, my memory's bad. I was trying to write stuff down, and hindsight, it's clear. About a year before I was diagnosed with this, I thought I had a hernia. I had a lump down in my groin area. It was quite large, and as the guys do, they put it off. And I'm thinking now that it's going down a bit, it was my lymph nodes actually were swelled up, and I thought it was a hernia. So that's another warning sign to watch for. Warning signs. Earlier you get this detected, PSA test. I've been through this many times. Just a warning sign. Now I'm going to go back to where I left off in my story. I had my second visit with my urologist in August. I had my second injection of the Zoladex LA. I was having a lot of gut pain across the gut, around the belly button area, right across from one side to the other, along with my back pain and stuff. And it's just like somebody whacked me with a baseball bat. And the urologist was quite concerned. She actually sent me for a CT scan. But other than that, I was doing pretty good. Now this time, okay, I'll get into my PSA after. I'll go over that. Okay. And on the 16th of August, they finally had set up for me to go for a colonoscopy. Since day one, they've always said that I had a node in my bowels. Well, my big list of everything they said the places I had, and that concerned them because they figured it was a different cancer than the cancer that had gone, the metastatic cancer that had moved from my prostate to my bones and my lymph nodes. So I had a colonoscopy on the 16th of August. I was quite stressed. I had one, 20, 30 years ago. And it was a terrible, terrible test. And I was kind of worried about it. What a difference. Some things have improved a lot. It wasn't as bad, or I was in such pain it didn't matter. And it's very interesting here that you get delay and the screen's in front of us. So you can see it going in. And it was quite interesting. And right off the bat, now I had been prayed for that Sunday before I went at church. And this is what I had in my mind, that this is what I needed to have a good report of. And the doctor was going in and going through, and he goes, "What? Brow? My gosh!" And he goes, "Look," he said, "look how nice and pink and good that is." He said, "Your bowel's brand new." He said, "I don't see any cancer anywhere." He said, "No polyps, and we're not nothing." He said, "It's beautiful." He said, "That's not a bowel of a 62-year-old." Well, actually, I was 63 now. I turned 63 at that time. So a 63-year-old. He said, "That's, and so what he said was, the treatment is working." And I said, "Yeah, they haven't treated it." "Oh, sometimes they misread the scans and think the thickening is actually, it's a thickening of the bowel. It's not really a lesion." Well, I'll take it either way. I know what happened, and praise the Lord. No cancer in my bowel.
Even though they said.
Even though they said, and I've had multiple scans, x-rays, you name it. And, well, one thing off the list. We're getting there. I keep looking over at my list to make sure memory's getting a little sloppy, so I got to keep checking where I'm at. Okay, now I'm going to talk about my PSA. I haven't had my last 2 blood test results. I go for another one on Friday. So we'll see. I mean, it's really important what's happening now, I find. As from my earlier videos, my first PSA was 873. They didn't check my PSA again for 3 months, which I found odd. But, like I say, and I was on the bicumutolide, whatever how you pronounce it. And my PSA dropped to 26 after 3 months. I mean, I was still fuzzy a bit on how the numbers worked, but I mean, it sounds like it was doing really well. 873 down to 26. Okay.
But the doctor wasn't that impressed.
No, doctor kind of thought that I would be down to minimal, whichever minimal is. We'll talk about that in a minute. I know from reading, they all talk about the magic number 4. Above 4 is cancerous. Below 4 is questionable. I mean, depends what site you read or what place you look at. I've seen a lot of guys after been on a medication for a little bit that drops down to almost nil, like point something. But I've been since September 7th. I'm getting my blood work done every 2 weeks. I'm keeping a better eye on it. At that time, well, just before the end of August, it dropped down to 10. Then they started doing my blood work every 2 weeks. They put me on abiraterone or Zytiga, 1,000 milligrams, and prednisone, 5 milligrams. And before I had a blood test the day before I started that. It dropped down to 5.7. I thought, wow, we're getting there. Now, this is 4 months since I started. Okay, so after I started the abiraterone, my PSA jumped back up a little bit to 6.4. And then the next one, it dropped back down to 5.7. Now, I mean, I don't understand it. They say a lot of things can adjust that, what's going on and everything. Well, we'll see. Now, the thing is, I haven't had my last couple of blood. Doctor hasn't talked to me since about my blood works. They usually call me if something's out of whack, but I haven't heard. Like I say, I go for another one this Friday, and it'd be interesting to find out if it's steady, or it's gone up or gone down. It'd be very interesting. I've been on the the abiraterone now for a little over 2 months. The urologist kind of mentioned that maybe I bottomed out. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe I'll never get back down to, down to point something. I don't know. He didn't explain it. He just wouldn't say much. After, okay, let's see. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Where's my list where I'm at here? Okay. Oh, the abiraterone. Here in Canada, it's very expensive. We're talking $4 or $5 grand a month. There's no way. There's no way I could afford that. Even along with the injections and the pills and the prednisone and all the other stuff, I'm paying out of my pocket. I didn't have any Medicare. I don't have any insurance. I let my insurance lapse because when I left work, I kept it for a while and then let it go. It costs so much a year when you're not working anymore. And I used to brag to my wife and said, look at me. I'm a wellness machine. I can eat junk. I can have a terrible lifestyle, but I never get sick. Well, sometimes it comes back to bite you, doesn't it? It really did. My doctor, his secretary especially, and at this compassion division, I'm not even sure what they're called. Now, they worked on it through the doctor, the secretary. I even got a hold of the Cancer Navigator and got a hold of the Medicare in Nova Scotia government from Canada to see what they could do, because it got to a point where I finally said to the doctor, I'm not taking it. I can't afford it. To sell everything I owned, leave my wife with nothing, with debt. No. We'll do it ourselves. We'll just, whatever happens, God will let me know when it's time. And it wasn't long after that, praise the Lord, that they figured it out. It was scary because, they kept talking about co-pays, and I don't know what the other pay was. Well, that brings me up to September 23rd. Now this, like I say, I'd seen the urologist talked about how my guts felt real bad, like I'd been hit. So that was the day I actually had the CT abdomen pelvis scan to see what was going on there. And I did get the results back. And let's see. Okay, now the results, he didn't really want to get into it. Called me on the phone, told me I got the results from your CAT scan. He said the good news is your prostate is down. Some of your lymph nodes are a little smaller. And I asked him about the metastatic bones, and he didn't answer me. He went on and said that it looks like, we don't have anything in your liver and that yet. Okay. So that was good news in a way, because, the prostate is down, and that's supposedly what drives the cancer. And my lymph nodes were down. I could tell they were down. I could feel the ones in my groin weren't quite as swelled as they were.
You said prostate. Did you mean testosterone?
No, he actually said my prostate was down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I guess it meant like it was smaller in size. And so that was kind of good. And we talked about him, setting me up for my next needle in November. And he asked if my regular family doctor would do it. No. She doesn't like touching people. You can ask her to do that. I feel more comfortable with him. He knows what he's doing. I'd rather have him do it, even though I got to drive 3 hours each way to get there. I'd rather him do it. I feel more comfortable. He seems, that's what he does for a living. Now that brings me to October. I've been up and down. I have good days, bad days. I still have fatigue. Some days I have a little pain. Some I have more pain. Some I have, I noticed my walking has gotten stranger. I kind of walk like a duck. The one thing about walking like a duck and being hunched over, they avoid you. You go in the grocery store, they'll change aisles. They'll get away from you. Well, I find that a plus. We were building a new chicken coop in a rabbit. Actually, we didn't know it was going to be a rabbit pen. We were building a new chicken coop closer to the house, so my wife could take care of them. And I was using a drill. All I was doing is pushing on the drill. I put a screw in with the drill. I wasn't even pushing that hard, and it felt like I popped 2 ribs on my left side. Painful. I didn't fall. I didn't do anything. I could feel them pop on the back side of my left side. And a week later, I was working on our car. The fuel pump had gone on it, and I was frigging with it. I was turning the key and trying to play with the wires, and it's under the back seat. And I reached back and pull on the wire, and where my right side leaned on the seat, I popped another rib on that side. And it just the way it popped, oh man, was that painful. I think my wife could have heard me yell out in the house. It just for no reason. Well, that was a bit of a reason, but it was hardly leaning on it. So I figured my bones are getting in and out. That's where we'll get to in a few minutes about what's happening. I'm hoping what's happening there. Okay. Well, my next sentence written down to make sense because my memory's getting worse. I'm confused at times. I'm cranky.
Just a little.
More than a little. I feel sorry for my wife. I apologize every time. It's not like me. I don't think it's like me. I don't remember being cranky like that.
No.
Some of the side effects of the drugs or the cancer or whatever, it changes your life. It changes who you are. Not always for the best. I pray every day. We listen to Christian music every morning. Praise songs. We look at the sky, the sun, the birds, the animals. We go out and talk to our pets. Our pets. We call them pets, but I won't get into that. Okay, now I'm going to talk about changes that have been happening in the last few weeks. Of course, I've had a lot more pain because of the ribs, broken ribs on both sides. My back is worse. My neck is getting worse. I have a hard time turning my neck. My arms aren't bad. It's okay.
Your head's not bad.
I don't want to be feeling my head. My brain isn't swelling and pushing on anything. I think it's shrinking like all the lesions. My testicles, or whatever you want to call them, are very tender, very sore. I have burning at times on my top of my feet. Numbness. I'm having phantom feelings, odd feelings on my left leg, like something's crawling up it. I've had a pee accident 2 or 3 times.
So we're watching your spine real closely.
Yeah, I'm taking it real easy right now until I'm waiting for this scan, and actually it's many scans tomorrow. I've been taking it real easy. I'm kind of nervous. I know from researching it and from symptoms, and it sounds like my spinal cord's getting pinched. Now, okay, we'll carry on with that, and then we'll, you know, because I'm on that right now. No, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, now I went to see my urologist on the 2nd of November. And he actually met me in a different hospital, saved me about an hour's drive that day, and because he was there, so it worked out better. And I got my 3rd injection of the Zoladex. Now, I know that I've been taking a lot of herbs blood thinners. So I was eating spinach, because spinach actually will help. What's it called? Thicken the blood. Cautery, yeah. So, you know, it helps so I wouldn't bleed as much, because the last time it bled pretty bad. I even took ice packs with me in a cooler, so when I knew after I got it, I would put an ice pack on it and help slow down. But it's still, I bruised quite a bit. I noticed after I finally got the bandage off, I had bruised quite a bit. So I explained the feelings I've been having, and he was quite concerned about, well, which I figured, well, we figured since then, is probably he's worried about my spine. And we're hoping he explained there's 2 things it could be. There's bad and the good. The bad is my cancer's gone from hormone sensitive to castration resistant. That, in other words, it means that the drugs aren't working, that the cancer is advancing. Like whether it's a cancer lesion that's pushing on my spine, or the better side of that flip coin is it's my osteoporosis. And my bones are breaking from the soft bones, or the bones that I've already broken is moved and pushing up against my spine. Or something else altogether. And that's why he set up for me to go for a CAT scan and a full body scan. Now, he'd mentioned MRI, but I never heard back about that. And we got news on that right away. We had actually been at the hospital for my wife. She had breast cancer, lump removed 3 years ago. Last week, they had a scan. I don't know what they're called. Liquid push on the thing. Okay, I forget what they call them. Ultrasound. I have a hard time with that name. And then they said, okay, and she had to have a biopsy. And the biopsy came back as positive for cancer again. So we were there for her to see the surgeon. And the hospital where we were going into actually called me and said, we have your appointments for your CT scan and your bone scan. We're going to do it on the same day. Be prepared for a big day. And which is great, because it saves me an extra trip to town. And I was there, so I could pick, you always get these little bottles of stuff you have to drink. So I got to pick it up, so that saved me a trip too, because I'd have to drive just to get that. They don't have it where the town I'm in. You have to go to a hospital, and we don't have a hospital. So we've been praying hard. My wife's been praying for me. Wonderful, wonderful feeling. So we're hoping for big news tomorrow, good news. Even if it's not, I'm positive. I'm stayed positive throughout this, and we'll deal with it. There must be a reason why I'm going through this, and maybe these videos are the reason. I don't know. It's by giving my testimony to everybody I meet about what God done in my life, and maybe. Oh, we'll see. We'll see what the next step is.
Talking about the other night? Yeah? Okay.
No. I will do another testimony of my faith, separate than these videos on my cancer. And please watch it when I put it up. It'd be hopefully it'll be inspiring for you and salvation is wonderful for anyone. And I mean, it's given me the strength to do these videos. I know it's going to be tough on some of my family, my friends, to watch some of these videos as my journey, my trip of cancer goes down the road, and hopefully, you know, like I say, one person gets something from this. I feel like I've done something, you know, whether it's good or bad, whether they see something they want to use or not use, or they know where they are on their trip. And I understand there's so many different levels and different types of prostate cancer. I mean, with your Gleason scores and you know, where you stand, and whether it's just prostate cancer, whether it's advanced and metastatic, whether it's gone to your bones, and the people that's got it gone to their liver, and on into their internal organs. It can go to your brain. You know, it's a terrible disease. I mean, even 4 stages have different levels. You know, if you only have 3 or 4 lesions, it's actually different than if you have multiple lesions. And whether it's gone to your lymph nodes or not, you know. So I can only tell you about my story. And hopefully, you know, keep the comments coming. I love it. And like I say, I'll do a video as I go. And if there's questions, I don't know if I can answer questions, but I will do my best. But amen, when you comment, other people see it. And maybe they can comment, or maybe they can research whether they want to use whatever you're talking about, or how you felt. We're all in this together. You know, we can support each other. You know, and please like and comment and subscribe. You know, that keeps me encouraged. I know there's people out there and they're watching these, and God bless, and watch my story in the next week. I definitely will be doing follow-ups. You'll find out the news when I do, you know, and what we do next. There's a lot of questions. The doctor mentioned radiation and chemo again. I know by research that surgery's there. Like I say, then you'll decide. We'll find out what our decisions are on any. If I do any of them, or all of them, or whatever, we'll find out as we go along. And God bless, and have a good day, everyone.